So I recently got asked a question about what is my best practice or my advice for the best ways to repurpose content. What's the best way to just strategically post content online? And here's my answer. And I wanted to share this in a video because I have a feeling this is not the first nor the last time I'll get this question. So let's just make a video and make it public. And here's what I would say. It's different for everyone. And you probably don't hear that very often. And here's a core belief of Brand Builders Group and of mine, we're one and the same on this, is that content and your content strategy, specifically when it comes to social media, isn't about the platform as much as it's about the audience. So before we worry about your content strategy and your social media strategy, I want you to first be worried about who is your content built to serve. So I just want you to start there and then ask yourself some questions. What are their demographics? What are the psychographics? Where do they spend time online? And how do they want to hear from you and in what medium, right? Do they want video? Do they want audio podcasts? Do they want quick social media blurbs? Do they want full, hour-long content on a podcast? Do they want to see you? Do they want to hear you? Do they want to read? What platforms are they spending time on? Is it YouTube? Is it Instagram? Is it Facebook? Is it LinkedIn? Is it Twitter? Is it Pinterest? Like, where are they? So I think you have to know the answer to those questions before you go, okay, now here's my content strategy and here's how I'm going to repurpose it. Because yes, you can be on all the platforms and you can just run the same things through every single platform. It's very easy to go to take a video and deconstruct it and reconstruct it and post it to all these different places. And we have a proprietary formula that we call the social media content diamond, of how you start with a video and you completely deconstruct it. You strip the audio, you strip the text, you turn it into infographics, you turn it into beautifully posted graphics, you make it into a mini podcast, put it on all the platforms, anyways, all the things, right? So I can teach you that, right? And that's not a big deal. That's something that we do. It's very routine. You can get tons of, literature about that anywhere on our website at brandbuildersgroup.com. But here's the missing link that I think you have to know before that's applicable is, where do you wish to spend your time? And that should be based on, where does your audience spend their time? And here's something that's really unique. For me as an individual, I probably do most of my enjoyment posting on Instagram, but I also know that when it comes to a strategic business effort, most of my audience lives on LinkedIn, right? And so I don't spend a lot of time personally surfing LinkedIn, but that's just not but I know that's where my audience is. I know that if I'm going after XYZ as my core target audience, that I know that's where they are, right? And so I have to be strategic and go, okay, just because I don't love being on there all the time because that's not where I get my information doesn't mean that's not where my audience is. And I think a lot of times we just assume that wherever I spend time is also where my audience spends time. And maybe that's the case. That's possible. That's true. But that's not the case all the time. So I have to be very intentional and strategic about the content that I curate of how does it work on LinkedIn in addition to Instagram and Facebook and YouTube and all of the places. And I'm really intentional. The videos that I make that are for YouTube are very how-to oriented versus what I put on LinkedIn is very professional services, entrepreneur, leadership oriented versus what I put on Instagram and Facebook and Twitter and Pinterest, which is more social, lifestyle, general improvement, or very topic specific, like the topic I'm talking about right now. But if I was going to talk about general entrepreneurship and leadership, I'm going to heighten my focus on LinkedIn. And that is what I think people don't talk about enough is before you start worrying about how you just repurpose content, it's, well, who is the content for? And where are they spending time online compared to where you spend time online? And where should you put more focus or less focus? I know that there's really simple ways of repurposing content, and I'm a total advocate of that. I'm just going to encourage you and challenge you that before you start worrying about your content strategy and your repurposing strategy is to just focus on your audience. Where are they? Right? Where are they spending time? Because it's amazing how the exact same content and the exact same post will get dozens and dozens of shares and hundreds of likes in one place and only a few in another. And that's because it resonates more on different platforms. And so I would just say, before you just go all in on a general overarching repurposing strategy, that you spend a little time of going, okay, let's diagnose my audience. Where are they? Where do they spend time? What do they want to get from me? And what medium do they want to get it from me? And then on which platform do I think it is most likely to succeed? And once you have the answers to those questions, come back, listen to our podcasts, the Influential Personal Brand Podcast.com, visit our website, brandbuildersgroup.com, and we will give you all the information you need on a repurposing strategy and a content strategy. But I'm going to encourage you and challenge you first to know your audience and have an audience strategy. Then we can go to the next step and help you from there.